Manga is art, and possibly the salvation of the world. Hey everyone, welcome to Princess Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to episode 20 of Undead Unluck. And last time we found out that Fuko's favorite manga, the one she was reading at the beginning of the series, is the key to, finding everything out, basically. And most specifically, the manuscripts for a few arcs that were cut away. Because this manga, weirdly enough, is predictive. It is predicting the future as to what's going to happen, thanks to the effects of an artifact. I almost said UMA. An artifact that is being used by the author, who is extremely mysterious. They've never shown themselves to anyone. They never have let their voices be heard by anyone before. An extremely mysterious author. Which, by the way, is not as weird as you think. Like, obviously, the level to which this author is mysterious is. But here's something that some people may not know. In Japan, a lot of mangakas and anime creators and stuff will sometimes stay out of the spotlight. And even when they do public appearances and stuff, they'll wear masks and everything to kind of preserve their oh my god, I hate it when a word escapes me. Their the word that keeps coming to mind is safety, but that's not correct. They're trying to, like, keep out of the public eye, like, officially, so that they can remain anonymous and, have a certain level of privacy. That's the word I was trying to think of. I don't know why words sometimes just escape my mind like that. But they're trying to have their privacy, and, with how otaku can get sometimes, it is a safety measure to some degree. So a lot of times they don't like do super public appearances, and like even like sometimes when they're on like video or something, like doing an interview, their voices might be distorted, or there might be like some kind of like image or something shown in front of their face on the video, like with Oda, Eiichiro Oda, the creator of One Piece. Whenever he like shows on video and stuff, like when he's done like interviews with like Iñaki Godoy, the live action Luffy from the Netflix series, he has like this animated interpretation of him that you see in like the manga and stuff. And there's like a circular form of that over his face, over his entire head during the interview. So you never see what he looks like, even though like Eiichiro Oda in the past has shown his face and everything. So it's like we know what he at least used to look like. But for his privacy and for his family's privacy and all, this is how he shows himself. And there's some mangaka that wear like masks. Like there's one that wears like a chicken mask and everything. And it's like, again, it's a privacy thing. It's so that they can go about their lives as like normal people without being constantly hounded and just having their privacy like broken like that. And so like a mangaka like being very secretive like that is not out of the ordinary, but like I said, it's how secretive they're being in this. The mangaka of this this manga that Fuko likes, again, has apparently shown up in public, but because apparently has done like judging and stuff. But I assume that they've never spoken, because that was a big thing. No one has ever heard them speak before. And if they show up in public, I'm wondering if they wear a mask or some kind of like disguise as well. Because it definitely seems like that could be the case. Because even the person at Shueisha in the last episode was surprised when the mangaka actually spoke to Fuko, and knew that Andy was there too, of course. But it's pretty interesting. And it is also pretty interesting that they are specifically using Shueisha and stuff. But Andy also mentioned that he worked directly alongside the grandfather of manga, so like name dropping someone as big as that is a huge deal. It's really really fun to see this series like kind of expand its lore through this new information. And we see echoes of like the real world. Excuse me. Like our real world. With things again like Shueisha and whatnot. But then there's things like, oh, the universe didn't exist until this point, but because it exists now, everyone automatically thinks it just always did. And it's so unique and interesting. And and finding out like already the other episode that it's like, oh, this world has been like reset basically over and over again. That's pretty wild. That it's just kind of on this like infinite loop of destruction and rebirth. And only like one person has known about it prior with because she's come over in the arc and everything. But on top of that, we also have Victor knowing because he's just survived it all. But Andy, because he doesn't have all the memories of Victor, didn't know all of that before now. It's getting really interesting, and I'm very curious to see where it goes. Or at least how this season ends, because I do believe season 2 is already like set to come out. I don't think it's coming this year. I haven't heard anything lately about it. It might come next year though. But I know it's going to be coming. Either way, I'm excited. Let's see where this goes and hope for the best. Hold up just a sec. Before you click that link down in the description below to get to today's video, I want to remind you of all the awesome content we have both on this channel and the Princess of Gaming channel. Let's check it out. And we are back, and we'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So, Anno Un is crazy. Crazy as absolute fuck. But seems to know what they're doing. They have the knowledge of all of this going on. And are fully aware of like everything, it seems. And so we're kind of just trusting them at this point to help Andy and Fuko grow stronger. And doing that apparently involves using Autumn's claw to open Andy's book, which is way too big. His biography. And somehow we're gonna read that? I don't know. I keep using they, by the way, for Anno Un, because the series had still been using they them pronouns when using pronouns for them. It has not switched to gendered pronouns yet, and so I'm still sticking with this. There's also the idea that I'm questioning things with this. They said that they can only create like one drawing at a time, but I'm questioning that. Is that true? Because didn't they still have the pin on? They drew the pin, right? Unless I'm mistaken, I missed something. But didn't they still have that on when they drew the claw? Autumn's claw? Maybe I'm wrong. But either way, I'm thinking that maybe this isn't actually them. Because the fact that they were willing to talk so quickly, I mean, of course, it's, I would assume because of, being Fuko and Andy and everything, and they know who she is and all. Well, both of them. But it seemed like way too quick and easy. When, again, they haven't spoken to anyone for like all this time. All these years. So I'm kind of wondering if the entire not able to draw multiple things at once thing is a lie. And if that's the case, could their entire body here be a drawing? Like, hear me out. Think to One Piece. Slight spoilers for the Wano arc at this point, I guess. It's not like new at this point. It's years old, so this shouldn't be a big deal anymore. But just warning you to skip ahead just a little bit if you don't want spoilers. But in the Wano arc, there's a character named Kanjuro who can draw anything and bring it to life. It's his devil fruit power. And although earlier in the series, earlier arcs, he was thought to be bad at drawing, he's shown to be really good at it. And there's multiple times during the Wano arc, specifically during the raid on Onigashima, that he's able to draw realistic depictions of himself and other people that are so realistic that they can fool people into believing it's actually them. That's pretty insane just on its own. But that means that, like, you could be, like, technically speaking to Kanjuro without him being there. You know what I mean? Because it would be, like, not actually him. So, what do you do in that case? It's like you have to, like, figure out if you're actually talking to him, and there's ways to do so. But in this kind of situation, it's hard to say, because, like, what are the rules of of their drawings? Because we saw them bleed when they lopped off their arm and everything. Like, they can bleed. But if this artifact is strong enough, can it cause, like, any living being drawn this way to bleed? Do the drawings, once come to life, have the full properties of whatever that drawing would be? It seems to be the case, because when they drew Andy's arm, it could use Andy's ability. Because it took on the properties of Andy's arm. So realistically, that means that this body could be entirely fake. We don't know. That's another reason why I'm still using they them pronouns for Ano, because we don't know if this is actually them. They could have sent a faked body, what would be a good word for it? A substitute. That'll work. To meet them instead, just for, safety reasons, and because they maybe knew they might need to do something crazy, like lop off an arm. It's It's very unexpected, but I think the possibility does exist that this isn't actually them. I think that possibility strongly does exist. I don't know, like, how much of a possibility it is. I don't know if it's, like, realistically high possibility, but it does exist nonetheless as a possibility. And we know from the beginning part that Anno knew this was going to happen and knows that if Andy and Fuko went along their normal path, that Fuko at least would die. And that's why they're choosing to help out, because they don't want it to happen. They seem like an ally. And we do see that Under is around as well, because they were trying to get a hold of Autumn as well. So, yeah, we gotta kind of hurry up, it seems, with this training. But the fact that this training does involve Andy's past as Victor and everything, that's something that's going to be very interesting to see. But it does make sense, like, with what he was saying, like, oh, Victor's so much stronger than me, I need to find out, like, what the difference is there. The difference is memory, right? Victor knows all of this shit. Lifetimes, like, probably, like, at least 2, but probably even more, lifetimes worth of memories and fighting abilities and knowing how to, like, do these advanced combat techniques. Like, what was it, Volcano Bullet is the one that Anno used when using Andy's hand and his arm. So it's like, that's got to be something that, you know, Victor can do, but Andy has not learned how to do yet. And we're seeing that if Andy can learn all of this about his past, then likely he could start doing this stuff too. It'll make him stronger. Learning about Andy's past will probably connect Fuko more with him, which will make her unluck with him stronger. So it's like, this absolutely is necessary, and I can see I can see no, I can see how and why this would be able to help them fight Autumn. But I just don't know how they're going to read that book. Meanwhile, we have Autumn killing a dude, turning his face into a book and eating him. And then I guess turning him into one of the little spider minions. That's what it looked like, at least. And that entire scene was like, what the fuck? It was so unexpectedly disturbing. Because it's like, I've seen, obviously, a lot of shows, both animated and non. I've played a lot of games. I've seen crazy stuff happen where characters are killed. But I don't know, I don't know exactly why, but it was like, maybe it's the human-like teeth. Maybe it's just that disturbs me so much. But it's like, whatever it was, it's like, that just actually did bother me a bit. Of course, maybe with the design of Autumn, it also reminded me a little bit of Blood Sea. Which, you know, that could absolutely be it, because the deaths in Blood Sea, especially in the climax of the series, are probably the most disturbing moments in all of anime, at least for me. So it's like, that could possibly be it. Although it's like, Autumn doesn't really look that much like the demon creatures in Blood Sea. Definitely not like the rabbits, at least. But there's a bunch of the different creatures, so I don't know. Maybe it's the teeth, because there were a couple of the demon creatures that had human-like teeth. There's like this purple thing that had like the pointed claws and everything. And that one had like human-like teeth, I believe. If I'm remembering right. And although it didn't show Autumn putting the dude into its mouth, it's still just the sounds and everything, and then showing it like chewing and swallowing a person. And it's just like, I don't know, even Attack on Titan didn't like make me that disturbed. It's just, I can't explain it. It's just I guess a gut feeling that overcame me. But yeah, so that was a thing. Um, it was pretty crazy though. This episode I feel like went from 0 to 100 really damn quickly. And I think part of that is because Anna Un is just fucking crazy. But I kind of dig that. I kind of dig that because it's like their design alone you don't really get too much from. But it's like what we heard about them and everything last episode, you also don't get a huge amount of information, a huge amount to judge them on. So it's like you don't know exactly what you're going to expect. The fact that they were able to sneak up and start reading the manuscript without Andy or Fuko noticing, mostly Andy, like even Andy was freaked out by that. It's like, why the fuck didn't I notice them approaching? It's like that's scary. And then the fact that like Andy is like has his weapon pointed right at them and then they just seemingly teleport instantaneously. I definitely think that they have a lot more they can do than they're acknowledging and more than we can like tell. I feel like they are stronger, a lot stronger than we even realize at this point. So it's going to be interesting to see the heights of their power. And I wonder if their power is limited by imagination. It's very clear that their creativity and imagination is exceptional. I wonder if like that's like why they could do like stuff like the volcano bullets and everything, because maybe that wasn't even something that Victor can do. Maybe it's something that, or well, it's something conceivably that Victor and Andy could do, but they haven't done it, and it's just something maybe that Anno thought of. And it's like, oh, this is getting creative. This is getting unique. This is like putting forth effort into something different than what you normally do. It could be. It's possible. Um, if their power is like fueled by their imagination, it's like obviously as a mangaka, they have a lot of imagination, a lot of thought processing when that comes up. So it's like they're very clearly able to make very snap decisions as well. Um, it's really really interesting so far because I don't know what to think of them besides that they're just fucking insane. But again, that's kind of fun. It's kind of entertaining to see this character come in who's just, batshit crazy. For no other reason than because they can be. Like, I can just dig that. I think it's just a fun concept. And I feel like I guess it's fairly well executed. But like they're even kind of breaking the fourth wall, like saying like, "Oh, the autumn arc begins now" and everything. It's like I understand they're a mangaka and it's like, "Oh, they're just speaking in manga speak." But it's like they're also breaking the fourth wall. It can be both. I wonder how many episodes this is going to be for this though. Cuz I almost feel like it's not going to be resolved next episode. It feels like there's like amongst this training there's a lot to do. And I feel like next episode's just going to be that. And then we're going to go into the battle with Autumn the episode after that. So that would be 20, 21, and 22 at least. Which would leave the final couple episodes for something else. But that would also mean we're not getting to all of the the seasons this season. We'd only be getting to autumn and maybe one other. Now, like maybe that the rest of the crew is going to go do their share in getting the other two, maybe. But I feel like we wouldn't want those to be off screen. And I feel like there's a lot that would happen with wanting to see more of the fights with Under and everything. So I don't know. I mean, I guess if each of these seasons like kind of like encompass their own arc, then you could split it at the end of this. You could do that, but that would, I feel like, leave off on a little bit of a cliffhanger. I guess we're gonna kind of have to see. It's like not really much else to work with. But yeah, I'm excited to see more. This is again just really interesting, really creative and unique, and hey, kind of batshit insane in the best way. So, thank you so much as always for tuning in. Tell me your thoughts down in the comments below, and as always, no spoilers. But for now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.